All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're doing a full forensic analysis of one of the most destructive things a trader can do, the revenge trade. And I mean that literally. We're going to treat this like a crime scene. Look at the evidence, understand the mechanics, and figure out how to stop it cold.
First things first, you have to understand this isn't just a simple mistake. A revenge trade isn't a whoops or a bad call. No, it is a full-on biological, mechanical hijack of your brain. The moment you take a big loss, your logical brain shuts down, and these ancient, powerful survival circuits just take over.
And this, right here, explains exactly what's going on. Your brain isn't seeing numbers on a screen, it sees a threat. It thinks a predator just came in and stole your food, and that triggers this deep, primal need to get it back, right now. This has nothing to do with logic. It's all survival instinct, which, let me tell you, is a terrible, terrible guide for navigating the markets.
So let's perform that autopsy. In this first part, we are going to dissect the anatomy of what traders call tilt. We're going to uncover the biological chain of events that completely derails your decision-making and leads straight to disaster.
This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why is it that the very next decision you make, the one that's supposed to fix everything, almost always makes it 100 times worse? Well, the answer isn't in your psychology, it's in your physiology. And the main culprit is this thing called cognitive narrowing. See, after a loss, your body just gets flooded with this stress hormone norepinephrine. And here's the crazy part. It physically narrows your field of vision. You literally stop seeing all the other data on your screen. You become completely obsessed with one single thing, that price level that will make the pain stop.
You know, you can think of your brain as having two different operating systems. You've got the strategy layer. That's when you're calm, you're logical, you're looking at the data. But a big loss, that force quits that program and boots up the survival layer. And in this mode, you're primal, you're panicked, and you will blow past every single red flag your strategy is screaming at you.
And this is so important to get. Once you're in that survival state, you are not trading the market anymore. You're stuck in what some people call the liquidation loop. You're just desperately trading against the pain in your own body, looking for that dopamine hit that a win gives you.
Okay, so we know the mechanism. Now let's move on to signal detection. Because here's the thing. A biological hijack always leaves a trail of evidence. And if you know what to look for, your own body will give you all the clues you need that a revenge trade is about to happen.
We're looking for three key pieces of evidence. We've got these weird involuntary eye movements, you've got a heart rate that's spiking, and your breathing is getting fast. These aren't just feelings. They are hard data points telling you that your biology is in the driver's seat, not your brain.
And check this out. This is what's so wild. When you use eye tracking technology, a calm trader, a sovereign trader, their eyes scan the data smoothly, methodically. But a trader on tilt, their eye movements are all over the place. They're erratic, fast, and they just fixate on one spot, literally ignoring all the data that contradicts what they want to see.
Here's your first non-negotiable metric. If your heart rate is over 100 beats per minute, you are, biologically, incapable of strategic thinking. Full stop. At that point, you've been demoted from a trader to a gambler. And here's the second piece of hard evidence. If your breathing rate has doubled, that's your confirmation. You are operating fully in that survival layer. Your body is gearing up for a physical fight, not a complex mental puzzle.
And let's be absolutely crystal clear about what's at stake here. When you're in this state, you're like a wounded animal in a jungle full of predators. Every single click you make is basically a direct donation to the institutional AIs that are literally programmed to hunt for this exact kind of emotional trading.
Okay, so we've analyzed the crime scene. We know the cause of death for the trade. Now, how do we prevent the next one? This brings us to the most important part of this whole thing. A science-backed protocol to physically purge the loss out of your nervous system.
And this is the absolute key. You can't reason your way out of this. You can't use logic to talk your survival instinct down from the ledge. It won't work. You have to physically intervene. You have to reset the circuit.
So here's how you do it. 3 steps. First up, the 20-minute flush. You must get up and walk away from the screen. Why? Because it takes your liver about 20 minutes to clear out that first big surge of stress hormones. If you trade before then, you're still compromised. Second, sensory grounding. You have to shock your system, plunge your face into ice-cold water for 30 seconds. It triggers something called a mammalian dive reflex, and it will instantly slow your heart rate. And finally, the forensic journal. But don't write about the trade. Write about how it felt in your body, the tight chest, the clenched jaw. When you name the physical feeling, you start to diffuse its power over you.
So what does all this mean? Where does this protocol lead us? Well, the goal isn't just to survive a loss. It's to master the recovery so completely that you never lose control in the first place.
Look, at the end of the day, mastery in this game is not about a perfect win-loss record. The truly great traders, they're not the ones who never lose. No way. They're the ones who can take a big hit, run their protocol, and absolutely refuse to become the victim of their own biology.
And I really want you to let this one sink in, because it changes everything. In a revenge trade, the market didn't take your money. Your own unchecked biology just gave it away. And once you truly understand that, you can start taking back control.
That primal urge after a loss is to get even, but the only winning move is to get logical. And that means recognizing the hijack is happening, stepping away from the screen, and running your physical recovery protocol. That is how you turn what feels like a devastating weakness into your most unbreakable strength.